He was the was he general store or curiosities? Okay. Yes. Still do. Yes. Weird. Racists get boosted out of the government. Oh. I like this town already. Ugh. Well, then it sounds like there's a new bar that opened up with pretty ladies and money to spend, so
Yeah.
just
Did
don't
tell
break
you,
the
we're a pretty rowdy bunch.
Yeah, see that's the thing though, is if their chairs are as straight backed as their rules, what's the point in making it a drinking establishment?
It's not necessarily a drinking establishment, as far as I heard. It's only an inn.
It's a place to rest. What the?
Aren't those two the same
Third
thing?
No,
No.
no, Grandma, no.
They are
No.
not.
Ugh.
Yup.
Confused granny face.
Well, I, for one, will be staying with our tried and true sleeping arrangements. Yes, the home of Klug. How could I leave Klug to his own devices here?
But you do every time we leave.
Shut up.
Should definitely talk with the
Yeah.
guard captains, with the heads of house here, House Thalavar, the whatever her name was,
Mayor lady.
Griselda.
It's Griselda.
copper hair.
I was planning to talk with the council anyway.
because that's what they have now, correct, Junie? I didn't mishear that. Yep. I was planning to go and talk with them. We're still considered to have just gotten back, correct? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, in that case, then I will go ahead and speak with the council, and I'll be staying at the Umber Hulk as well for the most part. I'll look over the Knight's Goblet Inn at some point, but I want to talk with the council first.
So, did we take a rest? Did we already rest at the inn? Hmm. Okay. Can I do some rolls for my project? Just like in between the resting time and waking up and stuff. Man. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Well, I'll keep it in mind because I think I had another one completed that I haven't done anything with yet. So. I'm gonna put this to remind myself.
I need to actually check the level on that, depending on how far it is. Yeah, that's why I have to check teleport. Yeah. 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 It was just I didn't know where the boat would actually be coming from. As his boat, Arca was just humoring him by taking the mundane way. Even though magic's super cool and all.
Bitch, Jesus.
Even though magic is super cool and all. That may be the catchphrase of the night.
Yes.
Holly is going with Nokris. Before Nokris departs, Zin will grab him by the shoulder and ask him if he wants him to go to the House of Thalavar in his stead, to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone.
Go ahead. See how Galio is doing, what he's up to, and see if he can lend us any insight into all of this.
He nods briskly and makes his way out.
I'll go along with Knockers and Holly to the council.
I think Granny would like to probably go. As much as she would love to go to the council, she's not really a talky kind of person, so she's gonna go hang out with Galio. Because magic fam.
Bengal.
Chief legal douche. He's a stuffy little bearded worm.
Yeah, I'll get along with him fine then. What happens when you're a paladin of Savras? You tend to, have to deal with adjudicators all the time. So I go up to the pulpit and I kind of nod. Greetings, council members. I come here today to discuss if there's been any news from the south and the mire of dead men. From when we last discussed everything. Because I'm going
So
under the assumption we talked with them slightly.
are we at are they in chairs at desks and we're in a center podium thing?
Basically.
Like half circle, whatever.
Mhm.
So as Nokris is standing at the podium talking to these people, Holly is going to walk up to the one person that she recognizes frequently, Griselda. She's just going to like walk up to the front of the thing, and she's gonna kind of like pull herself up a little bit to peek over, and she's gonna reach into her bag and grab the handful of owl bear feathers, and just kind of put them in front of Griselda. We brought you things, and we have many questions. You know what those are from? They're from a bear that looks like an owl. It was really cool, and I tried to bring one back with me, but they wouldn't let me.
He wouldn't let you.
Okay, but can I have those back? I just wanted to show them to you. But you can have this one. Just kind of like I'll still like kind of hang on to the little desk or whatever, and I'll just kind of tilt my head back to look at Knockers.
I'll just take like a claw and like motion her to come back.
No.
Okay. Has Lama Runtosh made contact with you yet and actually begun opening up avenues of communication once again? Good. Good. And then the last question I have before I'm more than willing to answer yours, but I just have one more for you. Do any of you know of any information or tales of possibly a very old dragon by the name of Ebon Death? Is that or Ebon Wing?
Evan Death.
Ebon Death, it was right the first time. Okay. Do any of you know? They tend not to be. The old swords of Leyland, I take it. All right. Do you know of anyone or anywhere where we could learn more about Ebon Death, since he seems to be the adversary we are now dealing with? Understood. Those are all my questions now. What questions do you have for us?
I peer back over the desk at Griselda. I really like Galileo. He does really fun things with magic. Let's go see. We went to go see her, and we found her in her cave, and it was really big, and there were owlbears, like I told you. And then we met her, and I became really good friends with her because I told her a story, and she really liked it. And then so she sent us on a quest because she was like, "Oh no, there's undead things." So we went and found the undead things, and then we brought the undead things back to her because that's what she wanted us to do. And then there was this necklace, and it broke, and now she's bad.
It was essentially more than likely a binding of some type that kept a particular soul of peak influence, one we suspect to be Ebon Death, in state of tapor, if you will, or maybe even hibernation, if we want to call it that, because I don't quite understand the magics of a soul being trapped inside of a gem, but suffice to say, it played out much as Holly said. We were dealing with Caligumatar and her needs to want her territory purged of the undeath stench, if you will, from it, and she wanted to inspect the remains and or the live as I kind of do a quote, so to speak, because we were dealing with an undead creature thing to see if she could glean any information. And since we had made a promise to her to provide her with such information for it, we brought her back. And then before we could quite understand what was going on, the amulet itself took on a life of its own and seemed to possess her as if a noxious fume had entered her body. And suffice to say, after that, Ebon Death, I fear, has a new body that is not necessarily his own, but whatever they hope to accomplish, it is in the mire of the dead, and I fear it has something to do with whatever the cultists of Merkel have been planning for some time since we encountered them earlier in Leyland's growing pains, and then we had to deal with the Dreadnought was our first mention of this very old worm and possibly granting him eternal life, if you will. However, I would not count the dragon out yet as one faction or another, as much as the cult of Merkel may think they control the dragon. A dragon is never truly controlled until it is willing to be of its own complete volition. And Ebon Death, if this legendary black dragon was as ruthless and spirited as you say he was, I do not believe that they could control him for long with what they may offer him in treasure. Immortality is a gift, yes, but a dragon's needs know very little bounds. Mhm. Doesn't ring a bell. I would concur. Is there anything of import we should be aware of within the town, or that you would need of us in the meantime as we collect more information, since I imagine we will be here for a while yet? It's a possibility. It's not as if we are necessarily in a need to stay here constantly, since nothing has come, and Neverwinter may provide the informational boon that we need at this point. I will converse with my compatriots and get back to you. I do not foresee any problems with this arrangement, but I do not make decisions for all of my allies and brothers and sisters in arms. I will. If that is all, council members, I give a slight bow. And then I start to head out the door.
I'll give Griselda one more of my elbow feathers, and then I'll run after Knockers. I'll give one to the merchant too. Dare he?
Absolutely haram. He needs to be down here now.
So,
Granny.
so let me get this straight. We just walked in despite the guards. They didn't try to. Oh, okay, okay. I was about to say. Force.
You are very recognizable after all.
Well, Zin's only been here once, so that's why I
That's all
said
it
that.
takes when you're 8 feet.
I guess you're right. Well, if I remember correctly, there's only one staircase that leads up and down. So if I go up, I'm bound to find him, and there's a library on the second floor. So, although Zin doesn't know that, I do. Seeing that he's not in the office, my next step would be to go upstairs. I follow him into the that cubby hole. Are there one? Is he reaching for anything high up on a shelf?
Jeez.
I don't. I lightly rap on the frame of the door and address him. Galio, if you have moments to spare, I would see them. You are aware of the draconic threat. Speak of the task. I cannot make decisions for one and all.
Mhm.
And do you know how to use this ruined stone? And they are on their way here to help us. Zen looks over his shoulder at Talia. And what do you make of all of this? Have you heard of this ruined stone?
Out of game, great question. Junie, has Talia heard of the Ruin Stone, and should I roll Arcana for that? Yeah, not really familiar with the Ruin Stone. But in my personal past experience, anytime we have, let's say, messed with the forces that have been manipulated by past wizards, it usually ends horribly. However, I think this is a dire enough circumstance that it might be a good idea to at least our back pocket, so to speak.
Zen
So
will
I'm not
nod.
saying we should do it, but should say we should use it as our plan B.
We will consult Nakris. That being said, I'm not familiar with this other plane of existence. I've heard talks, but what are the dangers if I cross this beacon by myself? Will I find creatures, or what are these beasts you have in cages? Uh, Zen nods and says, well, lead the way. I do not want to be in the presence of one of those without you around. I'm all black, so I don't know if it really matters for all this, but
We got nothing, Commander.
I tried refreshing and still nothing, so.
I am able to see my normal visual radius, given that things are dark as fuck up here.
Let me try refreshing again real quick. Yeah, I'm still all black. Nope.
Damn.
Nope. There we go. Now I've got my vision.
I was gonna say mine is not dynamic anymore in the sense that like I don't have the double light radius thing going on, but I still have my 30 foot. Yeah.
Well, that's creepy. Are they like phased halfway through a reality or something? Okay. That's what I was about to ask. Is it like sort of like the spiders?
I'm still mad about the spiders, by the way.
Would Granny know anything about the star spawn? I threw a roll up in there just to be safe. That's fair. I mostly
it-
deal with big magical explosions.
Zin will turn and face Galio. And you can control these monsters? Zin very obviously looks extremely doubtful.
Oh.
It's to note Zin has his sword out at this point and is in ready position.
Yeah,
Ah.
Talia definitely does too. She's very hesitant because, magic goes haywire. That's kind of the thing that she's trained to prevent.
And these are what we will encounter in the other realm. And where is this ruin stone inside of the beacon? And I am supposed to believe that this serpent won't come to a life and just bite my hand as I reach for the stone. You're coming. Hmm.
Me and this guy, and then our 3 companions.
Zen shakes his head and points to the cage. Put that thing away, it looks nasty.
That's what she said.
We must talk to our leader and we will come to an arrangement. Or maybe we won't. But I will bring this information to him and see what information he brings to us. Could this help? And Zen produces the Onyx amulet.
Yes, it was an onyx amulet.
Sorry, I'm looking for it real quick. Yeah, Onyx
Yeah.
necklace.
Yeah, it was an onyx amulet. You were right.
Ebon Death flowed in a very gaseous form out of these. And I believe it to be empty. I believe it housed this dragon, or the soul of this dragon. And maybe if it housed him once, it can house him again. You are wise in these things. You tell me. While I agree, I was simply curious if this could help. If it cannot, maybe I should just break it. Ooh.
How would we force him back in if he was not willing?
It sounds like necromancy.
And I think I know who we need to talk to about necromancy. Where is the tall cow man?
He is not necromancer. You knock that off. Zen
Yeah,
takes
you say
the
that now.
He's gonna eat like a baseball if you say that to his face.
Zen takes the necklace back and thanks Galio for his time before departing.
Yep, Granny will swiftly follow, giving Galio like the turn and do like the 2 fingers at the eyes, and then the point 1 finger at him, and
What
then
a
point 1
tribe.
finger very pointedly at one of the star spawn. Like, I'm fucking watching you. I'm a douchey wizard in a tower kind of blank smiles work.
Talia,
He's a
that
high level wizard.
you're looking at Galio when you look at John. If he gives you a smile.
So he
I don't
gives
know.
you
I
a
normally
smile.
don't have the camera on, so
Oh, that's right. Your shitty ass connection.
it's called basement Wi-Fi. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Zin very pointedly walks straight to the Umber Hulk. He gives 0 shits about anything else that's here.
I will head to the Knight's Goblet Inn first, just to kind of see exactly what it is and what has garnered its rules, so to speak, just because this is a new item in town, really. And I want to make sure that there's nothing odd about it before I go back. But after that, I'll head to the Umber Hulk as well. I turn to the other two. I'm going to head to the Knight's Goblet Inn. You don't have to come if you don't want to. I'm more just curious as to what this establishment actually is. Last time we dealt with a strange inn, the cook tried to kill me.
There is a dragon, potential bad dragon, potentially flying around to, kill us all. So I don't think anybody should be alone right now. So I will come with you.
I just keep walking to the Umber Hulk.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to the Knight's Goblet. I have no desire to deal with a bunch of very friendly people.
Stuck up ninnies.
That's it.
These are the super cool mercenary company.
Straight back to rooks.
So I guess 2 of us are going and the other one is splitting off. Mm-hmm. I hand him my great sword. Mm-hmm. Yep. I put it into my pouch.
Holly kind of scowls at Nocris.
You can wait outside if you want, but if you want to be in, it is the rules that they have established for this place.
I'll take my bear token off of the bottom of it and then I'll hand it to him. Begrudgingly.
At least.
Okay.
At least he is being considerate. So after the person takes our weapons, I will then head inside. God. Yep. Yup. Not treat anyone with disrespect.
That doesn't deserve it.
There's the chaotic good.
Actually, does the guy seem like he's actually expecting us to say these words? Okay. Holly doesn't say anything. She just kind of gives him a little nod.
And we head in. I will nod to her and say, "Greetings. We are just here for the first time, and since this place has been established since we've been gone, we figured we'd come in and take a look." Not at the moment. More just curious about your typical patrons and what made you choose Leyland. I see. So you service a specific type of clientele, then I take it more so. Understood. Have you or any of your, yeah, I'll use that word, subordinates heard anything of rumor as of late?
While Knockers and this woman are having this discussion, I would like to kind of not really pace around, but just kind of meander around, still within earshot, just kind of listening to their conversation, but looking around. Do I see anything kind of interesting, out of place, any interesting people? Okay.
Yes, that rumor does seem to be making its way around town. Well, that's all. Thank you for your time. And I'll give a nod to Holly, and I'll head back and give the coat holder my coin and have my hand out waiting for my greatsword. I double check that it's mine to make sure that they are actually doing their job, and then once I am sure, I sheath it. Thank you.
You can't fool me. That's how The Witcher lost his swords in one of the books.
Holly
Wait,
follows
Holly's-
quickly in suit behind Nokris and also retrieves her weapon. Describe this guy. Okay. I will maintain eye contact with him as I place my bear totem back on my weapon.
Once Holly is all situated with her weapon, I will head outside and start making my way back to the Umber Hulk Inn.
Yep, I follow quickly behind him.
Got news of a potential job from the merchants and the council. Any news from Galio?
Galio wishes to retrieve something called the Ruin Stone from the opposite side of the planet Beacon. He wishes to contract us to do it, saying that the Ruin Stone could help against the fight against Ebon Death.
Also, he has Starspawn locked up in the top of his tower.
They are freaky.
And there's probably going to be some hostile ones on the other side of the beacon.
He wants to come with us.
He's like a super wizard, that makes sense.
Magic is terrifying. He made it dance.
What?
That's the best possible reaction you can give. Is just,
What?
Zin looks at Cowrie and like stands up from his seat and like does a few circles while hopping back and forth. He made it do that, but without the legs because it was just a head with tentacles.
Did you just say a head with tickles or a head with tentacles?
The calls.
It probably came out like tickles because I am a jackass, but tentacles. Like 10 of them, 10 tickles.
Don't
You know,
worry,
the
big
stuff
guy.
you're not supposed to search the internet for ever.
Don't worry, big guy. I'll get you to speak perfect common yet.
I speak perfect common.
You just call it giant because you're an old lady.
All right, that was good. I'm not even mad.
High five for the tall ones.
Yeah, that place is not going to really be for us. Plus, their clientele's a bit snotty as shit.
Perfect for Argo.
Yeah, probably.
I thought they were already there when I was describing this shit, so.
Nope.
Derp.
Dance for them. This are the tentacle monsters.
So, so what did you two learn from Galio?
Galio has a contract for us. He wants to contract us to go through the planar beacon to get something called a ruin stone from the top of a tower, and he wants to come with us.
Not surprised. He's a wizard. He literally wants to eat and breathe knowledge and unknown things every single day if he can.
Yes. Well, he's got heads with tentacles. Tentacles are locked up on the top floor of the planar beacon.
Oh, tentacles.
Am I saying that right?
This is the first time that
Tentacles, not T-cles. There's no I.
Holly also looks very confused. That's what he,
all his fault.
that's what he is saying. Tentacle.
Tentacles.
It's the accent.
Fun with accents.
Zin slaps his hand on the table very loudly. No, it does not matter. They made them dance. That matters.
It means he was controlling them with magic.
Yes.
The tentacles?
Yes, the
Yes.
tentacle heads. They had 2 eyes and tentacles, and they were here but not here. Kind of like spiders, but not really.
I want to pull the spider leg back out of my bag.
That's gross. Put that away. Is it not rotting by now? What is wrong with you? Why do you hold on to these things?
Also, we're just sitting at a table at the inn right now. As a reminder.
I think that
Hello,
Yeah.
we're here.
I was gonna
Grab
say
Klug. Is Klug here? I want to run over to Klug and show him my face spider leg.
I was gonna say I don't think Malwyn really cares at this point, concerning how much we pay them, and we're a return customer.
I just want to go I want to go ripping across the fucking inn when I see Klug. And I just want to take the leg and just smack it down on the table.
I grab her tail right as she gets up to go.
I don't have a tail.
I
Wait,
thought
what?
You said you did.
No, I'm based off of a lynx. I'm a mountain lion, or not a mountain lion. Based off of a lynx. I
grab
don't have
her
a tail.
I grab her scruff.
No, he does not.
Tell me I need to make an attack roll.
Look at this cool thing I found.
Yeah, your camera
Lots
had
of these really weird spiders who are here but not here. Don't know. I don't understand it, but it was here and it was not here. And I tried to eat it, but I couldn't eat it. My mouth just phased right through. Look here, try to eat it.
Oh, this poor man.
I pointedly stuff it
Klug
back
is a
into
wise
my
man.
bag. Oh, did you hear the thing about the dragon? But Klug, how are you going to make money for your family?
What are you talking about? He's surviving off the fucking 5 gold you've given him. He's rich.
I reach in my bag and give him 15 gold.
Oh my god. Oh, you
Klug
don't give gold to peasants.
murdered.
Do we tell him that we stole it?
No, I earned it.
I think we stole that.
No, we've been good about not stealing things.
I have like 2,500 gold. I
Zin,
didn't steal anything.
Don't say that in public.
No,
We're
this is
business.
not Holly. This is
Wait,
Kita.
Who's gonna steal from Holly? Please explain in this tavern. Who's gonna try?
Zin folds his arms and says, I fought and almost died with you, and you didn't give me anything.
Who are
He takes out his 2 golds and rubs them together. Like, come on, I need to eat too.
Raised her hand, isn't really listening to anybody else, and goes, "Listen, you need to take care of yourself and your family. So I want you to take this gold and make sure that you guys are okay."
All the way down in the pits at 2 gold. A peasant just threw you pity cash, man.
That's funny.
Zin,
That peasant's one of the richest people in this town now.
Zin takes Klug and throws him over his shoulder like I do with Luke's, and his ass is right here. Hey, somebody who knows! And he's doing a little fucking dance.
Go
Oh,
find
yeah.
me a drink now.
He's lightweight for me. I set him down, remembering where I am and whom I'm amongst. I forget. You people don't like this kind of thing. I'm going back over there. Thank you. And I pat him very harshly on the head.
Did he take the gold? Like, is it on his person at least? Okay. Holly will leave a little owlbear feather also on the table right where he was, and then she'll head back to her own group.
Bitch.
We kidnapped that man out of poverty faster than Talia 1.0 took a griffin egg.
I still don't understand.
Her work is charity.
She's still salty that I'm still salty about the griffin egg.
Oh, I'm not salty at all because I'm still putting all of the blame on it on the DM. I mean, if you guys really don't believe me ever on that, I can probably scroll back and literally screenshot the conversation, but I feel like that would be a breach of GMPC confidentiality.
You could
I trust you.
you could provide like absolutely damning evidence against John, and you want to it'd still be your fault.
It can't be
I mean,
John's
Drew, I
fault.
could have just said no.
He's just the all-powerful DM. Won't
But then you could have said no.
Oh, Ash will never forgive Talia for that.
Never
Yeah.
happened.
Well,
Shut up.
never gonna have to. Haha.
So
Anyways, seeing all the antics, Granny wants to go up and talk to the barkeep and slide him a few gold so that she can buy a round for everybody in the tavern right now. How much gold would that run me? Just like a couple?
Hey, I can afford that.
We just pay really far in advance sometimes.
Every
We just paid like 2 years' salary for Klug. So
every time we show up, we pay this guy's rent out for like years. He's just sitting on the money waiting for us to come back. He's not doing anything with it because this place ain't getting any better. But
That's
It already
point.
gets such high expenses
It's-
in here.
it's shitty and we like it that way.
Fantasy McDonald's.
Yep. It's not like we've pissed them off and they haven't pissed us off in any way, so it's a beautiful working relationship.
They even let you dig that pit to make bacon.
It's a working relationship, okay? Maybe not so much on the beautiful part. Yep. Oh yeah, that's true.
I did that. That was me.
Yes, you did. Once Talia gets back with the drinks, the council also has work for us as well in regards to going to Neverwinter and beseeching on their behalf the Duke of Neverwinter to keep a proficient amount of guards along the high road to help with merchants. It seems they are continually besieged by bandits, as is wont to happen once a new established town and honestly smaller city begins to be on the rise. So I told them that I would consider it and I would need to come back to you all and get your opinions on the matter. They also mentioned a particular magical item, much like Galio did, in regards to what is going on, and I forget its name at the moment, but it was like a grenade, as they put it, of some type.
A gnome bomb.
Basically,
Mara
That sounds
bomb.
horrible for the gnomes.
Why would we use a gnome as a bomb?
it is
No,
more
they
that
are
it was
fine.
designed by them, and they
Apparently
have a
gnomes are super evil and they just explode randomly. So we throw them at the enemy.
It was like a holy something, wasn't it, John? The Gnomon Guard. It's known as the Gnomon Guard grenade, and Galio may have more information on it, so I plan to see him tomorrow in regards to it.
So what do we do then? Do we go to Neverwinter and besiege Aid, or do we go with Galio into the pits of this ethereal hell?
Why not both? I do not suspect that we will need to stay long in Neverwinter to speak with their duke. The council has more than generously paid for the sloop, I think that's the correct word I'm using for the boat. The
Called it a
longship.
sloop.
Yeah, a sloot. They have provided us with one of their fastest longships, so it should not take too long. The travel by boat is only a day between here and Neverwinter anyway. And it will provide us with a chance to do that and learn even more information potentially about Ebondeath, since the resources in Leyland, though they are amongst friends and allies here, they are not as numerous as Neverwinter might have in her stores and her colleges and libraries. So I propose we go to Neverwinter for a day or two and then come back and help Galio with his needs.
If that is what you think, I'm in agreement.
Anyone have any other thoughts?
Would allow me to get word to the rest of the Father Kalambor about the issues with Merkel's followers, the more extreme necromantic rituals. If this is just one example involving the dragon, they're doing more. I need to get word to them to send out their more specialized units to check other far off zones in case, so that we don't have to deal with like a million dragons. Yay!
My only concern with this plan of going to Neverwinter first is that Galio's plan at least has us doing something to prevent this dragon attack or help prevent this dragon attack. We don't know when this dragon is coming. This dragon could be here in an hour. It could be here in 30 days. It could be here in a year. But the merchants of Neverwinter, or the merchants that are having the distress here in Leyland, they will always be here.
That is not true. Merchants are the lifeblood of the city. They bring the commerce, which brings the people.
There will be no people if there comes a dragon to destroy this town.
There will be no people if we do not save the commerce. What is the point of having this giant town if we can't protect it from both threats? It seems to me the most efficient way to deal with both is to take care of the easy one first.
What it sounds like, not everyone might need to head towards Neverwinter either. If it's just to request aid then, by boat, there shouldn't be much of a threat.
Dahlia, thoughts? Or have we put you into a stupor?
We can be serious.
No, I think Talia sees the merit of both points and both sides of the argument. However, Talia would like to track down this ruined stone first. Because to her, it is the greater threat. Because there is apparently now news to her a magical super weapon that's just been hanging out right on the other side of the doorway in the middle of town. And this thing needs to be gotten hold of as soon as possible. So, yeah. The merchants, I think, should probably be right after, though.
So we have three different options to deal with this. We can either go with the merchants first and then come back for the runestone, deal with the runestone first, or split into two teams and deal with the two of them at the same time.
I don't think that splitting into two teams is a good idea because Galio made it, he made it say, the way he worded it was the creatures on the other side, these star, whatever they're called,
Star spawn.
the star spawn, he can control them within direct influence of the planar beacon, but we're going beyond that. We have to go to the top of this ethereal tower, which I think is just the reflection of the current tower, if I'm understanding this correctly, which is 4 floors, 3 of which are outside of the direct influence of the planar beacon. Right, because the way you said it was the planar, the beacon's light has to be touching them for him to have influence over them. So with Galio, myself, and say one other person, I don't think we're gonna do much because we've already seen 2, and I don't know how hard these things hit. I don't know how much health they have. I don't know how hard they are to kill, and I also don't know if they have the ability to phase in and out of existence like fucking spiders. So I think that if we do wind up going through with Galio's request, that we all have to go. That's, we either die together or, you know, we either what is it? We either fail together or we die alone or something.
We
I
go
don't know.
together!
Sloppy.
It will be a
Anyway.
glorious death. Don't worry.
Yeah, just like cannon fire.
Yeah.
So what I hear is 2 for handling Galio's request first. 1, so Zin, what's your vote?
Zin is in no rush to help Galio. He's a firm believer in doing things the mundane way. He hates magic, and he very much says, "Yeah, let's go fucking with the merchants. I'll go for a swim. Let's get on a boat, motherfucker."
Calray, your thought was to go to Neverwinter first, considering you wanted to get information out to people and ask more, correct?
Yes.
Oh goody, I get to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, face. Mr. Arbiter, Mr. Impartial Paladin. you get to be the tiebreaker. Partially.
What time of day is it, Junie?
Ooh,
With
we're
that,
party drinking midday? Hell yes!
once
Well,
Knocker sees
you
that
guys
it's
are
kind of
drinking midday. I'm drinking.
between these two, he will stand up, put his hands on the table. I'm going to go talk to Galileo. I will be back. I'll have my decision by the time I'm back. So I head over to the House of Thalabar to go talk with Galileo.
Holly just sits there at the table and drinks and waits for Knockers to come back.
I'm just drinking
Well-
tea while these weirdos get drunk at midday.
Maybe not
Spike
party
his
hard.
tea.
Only have like maybe 1 or 2 ales. Like definitely not enough to get Granny buzzed. But like, yeah.
So
Right.
no alcohol because I'm just a weird cow man.
In regards to the question I sent you, is that something that I could deal with, say, like while Noctis is out talking with Galio? Let's do it. Okay. I would like to.
I look to one of the assistants or whoever's there. Where's Galileo? Thank you. I head to the second floor. I'll move up to the desk and knock on it since I imagine he is head first in the book and has no sense that I am there. I have a couple of questions for you, if you have the time. One is in regard to something the council brought up, this item called the Nomengard grenade. What exactly is it? They were not exactly helpful on full details and what its purpose is. I'm aware of how other sorcerers can get their powers, right, Junie? It's not just. So I kind of look at him and I just go, so it's literally like shaking of a wild magic sorcerer, shoving them in a bottle and then letting them out again. All gnomes I've dealt with are incessantly curious, sometimes to their own peril. I don't doubt it. They do make sure to keep accurate records at the very least. So the council seems to think it would be worthwhile in defense of the town, which, if it does what I think it can do by essentially containing the essence of magic in a bottle to use at discretion, it is worthwhile. The other reason I'm here is because you spoke with my compatriots earlier in the day, and you showed them these star spawn that they mentioned. You said it was of. You didn't necessarily say it was of dire emergency, but it is of great power. They said that you put emphasis on the fact that it's a very powerful artifact. Correct? You know exactly what its purpose is. Like anything of my will, like I could wish a town into or out of existence type thing. Fair. And is there any other way to access it minus going and using the planar beacon that you have finally reconstructed here? Do you think it has the ability to grant something immortality? And have you shared this information with anyone else? Knockers kind of stands up straight. My compatriots mentioned that you have a task for us to help you with in retrieving this item. How soon would you like to do this? Be ready within the day. Be ready tomorrow. Be ready tomorrow, and we'll be here. So Nokris heads back out and heads to the postal office one more time and makes another deposit for his younger sister's tuition fund and sends that back home. And he does that, and he sends 400 gold this time. And he makes sure to tip. If it's the same person kind of delivering it, he tips him like 20. Make sure.
Funny.
Yeah. So if it's the same individual, and I haven't gotten any notes or anything with these back. I take it correct. Okay. All right. And yeah, I'll tip him 20 since I imagine he's getting it there. And if he's not, well, he's gonna find out why I don't really make enemies often. But yeah, so I'll say, go ahead and deliver this. Same place, same instructions as before. Thank you. And I tip him the extra 20, and then I head back to the Umber Hulk Inn, and I come in and I sit down by the table everyone else is. We're taking Galio's job. Be ready tomorrow.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. Um, so I'll try not to take too much of your time. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. I do the double finger guns at Griselda. But as an older person, and well, might as well call myself a resident of Leyland at this point, given how much effort I've put into protecting the town from various threats far and wide, I thought it would be prudent to begin building something like a school within the town for the children. Somewhere where they can learn skills, so to speak. Perhaps reading and writing, perhaps skills such as how to fish, how to cook, how to start a fire. No need to teach them anything fancy like arithmetic or numbers. We can leave that to the merchants' children and the nobles, but at the very least, it'll keep children in a much easier to defend and centralized location should the dragon attack eventually come. But it'll also make the town better off in the end because people will be able to more readily care for themselves. Should certain things, say, be left destroyed by said dragon, such as one friend at the tavern brought up earlier today, he's afraid to go logging now because he's afraid that he might get attacked while he's out logging. So if the children are prepared, then perhaps they can fare better than their parents someday. So, and I'm prepared to front at least 3,000 gold towards this effort. Good, good. Any other comments? Any concerns? Do we have an idea of how much this might cost over time? I'm fully prepared to invest most of my own time, aside from the times when I may have to depart on some adventure or another. And once this threat to the town is ended, I would be more than happy to stay on full time to teach the children. Of course, it's something that we could work towards accruing the right amount of income to support the institution as the years roll on, whether it be through local taxation or perhaps even through donations from generous citizens. Well, then I will do my absolute best to give them a good reason to support the cause. Thank you for your time. At which point, she just goes back to the tavern because I assume it's probably no more than like 2 or 3 in the afternoon at that point. So, what's the plan here, Scales? Everybody's got nicknames. She's old. She doesn't have time for names.
Same amount of letters, same syllable amount.
Yeah, but I'm using a term of endearment.
The plan is
just-
to go and deal with the Ruin Stone as Galio has requested first. We leave tomorrow.
Excellent news. Well then, if we're going to be dealing with, what exactly are we dealing with? What are the details? How does this thing work? What does it do? I did kind of neglect to ask during my previous visit this morning.
Yup, there is a reason why we're going after it first. It can potentially hold great power and grant wishes or a wish to those who ask of it, and it will impart their will upon what they ask.
All right, so at that point, upon hearing that, Talia will immediately sit up stock straight, like back straighter than a rod, or worse than a patron of the Knight's Goblet Inn. And she will 100% wholeheartedly agree with Nocris's assessment. Yes, wishes are incredibly powerful. Whew. How early are we leaving?
Depends on how late you all sleep in, if you have too much fun or not. I'm not
Well,
putting a curfew.
Granny,
I'm just letting them know if they party hard, then we'll leave later. But the goal is to leave tomorrow.
well then Granny is going to be up at first light, and she will put in a particular request to the innkeep to make sure that that happens. So, like, pound on the door if you have to. good ma'am.
Are there any concerns or objections to this?
Not from Granny.
I can't hear what you're saying, Knight, if you're saying something.
Blah 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 blah. Concerns there are plenty. It's been there for how long, and it was fine before. And you are doubting the word of a great magician, Thalavar, who said it was better off there. I see no reason to go get it. I don't
I'm not-
agree with Galio.
I don't see any reason not to, and the biggest concern is that we have potentially a dragon that escaped death by some means by slipping into a gem, a great old black dragon.
So we're going to bring the wish granting stone to the same plane as that dragon.
That is exactly the point. We're
It's a
bringing
very
it
strong
to him.
dragon.
I think you might be underestimating the abilities of the dragon to get what he wants. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's still locked in the plane or not. It seems very clear that Galio is concerned about this and wants to use it in defense of the town. And if Galio is concerned, I do not hesitate to think that the cultists of Merkel are well aware of this item. Why else would they continually be in this area? This was a small fishing village at best when we first got here.
The planar
And
beacon's always been here.
Planar Beacon was destroyed when we got here and unmanageable and unable to do anything. It is now complete.
Zin shakes his head and says, even Galio did not know about this until he went through Thalavar's journal. I'm not saying that our enemies don't know. If we know, I would assume that they know. But Galio is a wizard, and as much as I want to trust Galio on his word, he is a wizard, with an order behind him who wants to do nothing more than gain more power. That's all anybody wants to do, is gain more power. And you're planting this wishing ability not only in his hands, but the hands of his order. And should they fail, should they turn, should something stupid happen, as it often does to us, we'll not only be contending with a dragon, but a dragon who can just wish us out of existence.
That is not necessarily the full power of it, but
That makes it
point-
sound so much worse.
the point is that we don't comprehend its full power. And if Galio is concerned about it, this takes priority over dealing with the merchants at this point.
Zin shrugs. If that is what you think, then that is what we shall do.
If there was another option, I would take it, but this is the greater demand and has the greater potential for evil to leak from it.
Grenade sounds pretty great.
The grenade, yes, but the grenade, from what I understand, is a very localized item. It's not going to suddenly, summon a Tarask into being. If it does, good on the gnomes. They finally got an item that works correctly for them. The point more is that if Galio is concerned about this item, I have come to trust Galio in his judgments throughout the months that we have been dealing with him. And considering these cultists of Merkel have been hounding this town nonstop, they even brought a dreadnought, and they have employed the essence, soul, or actual being of a legendary black dragon, who are the only ones above their conniving and scheming are red dragons. At the end of the day, blacks are very smart and only matched in their cruelty by reds. At the end of the day, if they are in the mire of dead men, it does not bode well for what they are doing there. And yes, I do understand that there are risks involved with taking this item from its planar home. But frankly, if we don't, we could very well just be leaving it there. And if we fail, then it is for anyone's taking.
Zen shakes his head and says, "You are talking still, but we are all in agreement. I understand that you understand, and we will do it."
Very well.
But I have a night to kill, and I am going hunting. See you all tomorrow.
Holly will kind of quietly just finish off her tankard of ale, and she'll give Knuckles a little pat between the eyes, and she goes to bed. Is it midday, really? I thought it was later than that.
It's 4.
Well, she'll retire to her room. She has
You
things she
said-
can do.
You said pet or poke?
Yeah, I get your service.
You said.
Are you inviting Klug up there? I know what that 15 gold was for now.
Oh.
What will he do when he finds out?
No, Holly's going to treat herself to a nice evening privately, so she's going to her room.
And it was pat or poke, you said. I didn't hear.
A little pat.
Ah, gotcha. Knocker's still. He's not going to bed or retiring to his room. It's 4. He's going to go outside.
I'm going to go along towards the coast and find a spot further away from any of the boats or people. Because I'm going to test out some power that I recently came into and cast
Oh.
Firestorm over the water. Firestorm.
I will probably head to the Shrine of Tamira, I think.
Just gonna throw that out over the water to get a good
God
visual for
damn.
it.
7d10.
That's the newest one, right? Is the Tamira Shrine?
Tier.
Tier.
Yep. Tier and Tamora.
That's why I went along the coast away from the
They
dock.
can still see it. It's a clear
Yeah,
day.
Yeah, but I don't have to see them though.
That's
Not
like
yet.
even
I
worse.
don't care about them.
Ugh. My God, if they come running to me first, you are not going to hear the end of it.
Oh. I'm gonna. I'll take it back to the inn and just
Boiled fish.
give it to the cooks and walk away. Not really giving them a chance to say anything.
Firestorm sous vide. That's exactly what that is.
kind of walk in and I just kind of take a look around to notice it, and I ask him, tell me, do any of your records hold any information on something known as a ruined stone? Very well. I was hoping maybe, but it seems like we truly only have what Thalavar recorded in his journals of it. It's fine. Have there been any issues as of late in the town in terms of disturbances or odd happenings between the people? Thank you. I I head out, and I'm going to go probably a little bit outside of the gates of town where I'm not going to be disturbed, and I am going to use that um whistle that Galio gave me a while ago, so then I can actually try and use this lovely little grisly trinket that I now have of the finger and the parchment. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to trace with the finger the question, what does your master want with Ebon Death? I'm not here to bargain for your wisdom. I am simply wondering what you had planned, but I can see you're not going to provide anything of import. And do I recognize this thought more as Selex or as someone else? Okay. I mostly just wanted to see if you would respond, whatever you may be, and it seems you have other manners at play, whatever they are. But no, I will stop them, and I will stop your servants. With that, I kind of scowl, and I take the parchment and the finger, and I just kind of hold them in my hand and cast Create Bonfire and kind of ignite them and let them drop and burn. do not like where this is going. And I kind of head back towards the Umber Hulk Inn, but don't necessarily go inside until later in the evening as I kind of stew in my thoughts a little bit.
Holly will go back out and she'll head to the markets, and she wants to look for some particular plants and herbs. Let me DM you real quick.
Not my issue anymore.
Holly wants to buy at least enough for like a couple small satchels of it. How much is that going to set me back? How about? Okay. Okay. I have 5 silver for some reason. Okay. Cool. And she'll just head back up to her room, kind of as quietly and I'm not gonna say sneakily, but avoiding everyone else if she can. Woo! Taking it off! Woo!
Holly is aroused.
I don't want to know what the hell that comment was about because I walked upstairs to get a fucking bowl of cereal. And all of a sudden I hear, woo, taking it off. I'm like, okay.
What? You don't want to be added to the growing harem, apparently.
No. No, I do not.
Yes.
Fuck you too.
Yes, I do. Zin camps outside of the city walls tonight. What would you like me to roll? A whopping 4 and a whopping 6. Ooh,
Nice
beaver
beaver.
pelts are expensive. Yeah,
shit.
but you can actually use the oil to waterproof your arrows. So, Zin spends the rest of the evening out and doing nature things. But
So
he eats
who's
the pheasant.
actually the druid?
Peasant. He just hunts.
Yeah, Holly's not really a druid. She's just, part druid.
She just went into things sometimes.
She's
Yeah.
respectful of the natural order.
I like trees. I like plants. I like flowers.
Dragons.
Holly really likes dragons. Do, 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 do.
Imagine, if you will, a world much like our own, but not.
We go to the other side and see the characters that we were before the time warp.
Oh no, Ash!
Can't wait to tug. Can't wait